Hello, welcome to another recap video. This movie is about the heart-touching story of Wei Yihang, who is a young boy with brain cancer. He undergoes a surgery and describes how the doctors only think about how to treat the patient while we undergo many different emotions that nobody cares about. He's very tired of his sickness and thinks that he's a burden on his family. He gets the surgery done, and the scene is changed to 2 years later, where the doctor says that the results show no sign of cancer anymore, but he needs to do checkups for the rest of his life as it might come back. He gets very irritated and angry, as he knows that there is still possibility of having cancer, even though he went through so much pain over the years. He doesn't have any friends as he had always been under treatment, so he feels very lonely and depressed. He's the only child in his family. Yihang's parents are very caring and kind, and their son's health is their priority. His mother is an accountant, and his father works at a company. They both work overtime to make enough money for their son's treatment. He's noticed all this since childhood. Wu Xiaomei is their family friend who has lost his wife due to cancer. He has a cancer organization and encourages Yihang to join it for inspiration. He agrees to attend one of their meetings where everyone wears a costume. He wears a costume too, and calls his mother to show her how the place is. As he's walking around, he bumps into someone wearing a frog's costume, and he accidentally drops his phone into its costume. The person wearing the costume is a girl named Ma Xiaoyuan, who had a cancer but got treated 10 years ago. He gets embarrassed in front of everyone. She makes fun of him because he was talking bad about the party to his mother. When Yihang goes home with his mom, they meet Xiaoyuan, whose scooter has problem, so Yihang's mom offers her to take her home. He introduces himself as I am Yihang and says, "Do you want to see my brain tumor biopsy?" She tells him that she had undergone all this when she was in elementary school, and he shouldn't try to act cool with his sickness, as it's nothing important. He gets shocked with her response and makes him curious about her. He goes home and searches her name on social media and keeps looking at her photo once he finds her. He notices that she's live now, so he rushes to his laptop to join her live. During her lives, she makes drinks with weird combinations, and each time she drinks it for a purpose, even if the taste is unbearable. He carefully watches her as if he's very interested in her. As he's watching her, his mother comes in and he quickly closes his laptop so she wouldn't see it, and she realizes that it's something related to dating or relationship that he wants to hide. During her live, she announces that there is a special event for cancer patients that an instructor will come to give an inspirational speech to them. He also reserves a spot to go to that event. Yihang meets Xiaoyuan there, and the instructor calls him to come over and give some inspirational words to others and share his story. Yihang is not an optimistic person, and he doesn't like to give false hopes to others. He gets up and stands in front of everyone. He says that no matter how many of these speeches they give, they are still sick, and nothing will change as no one here will start living like a normal person if he puts some lies next to each other for show. Xiaoyuan gets angry at his behavior and tells him that he's a normal person too, and he should take off his clothes to show that he's normal. He actually does take off his clothes in front of everyone and then leaves angrily. She regrets for what she did during that event, so she calls him and tells Yihang that a director saw his speech and actually wants to interview him for his honest words. Yihang agrees, and they come to his house for the interview. He starts talking like a robot, and the director asks Xiaoyuan to tell him to act naturally and say whatever he thinks. Yihang again gets angry and leaves the room. He grabs some random ingredients and makes a drink for Xiaoyuan to drink. He says, "If you drink it, then I'll do the interview." She gets surprised and asks him if he has watched her live, as he knows about those weird drinks. He gets shy and doesn't know what to say. He keeps dreaming about himself and another girl at an unknown lake, where he just notices that she resembles the girl in his dreams a lot. Yihang slowly gets more and more interested in her. He again logs on and starts watching her live show. She says that today's drink is for apologizing to a friend, as she didn't consider his feelings and said harsh words to him. He gets happy for her efforts, and she seems to be the first person who can make him smile and forget about his sickness. She invites him to her house. Xiaoyuan lives with her father in their garage, and her mother passed away when she was little. Her dad is a very cheerful and energetic man. He has a chat with Yihang and asks about his impression on his daughter. He says that she's very kind, and Jae-won's dad confirms that he agrees on their friendship, as he can be a good person to be with his daughter. After that, Yi-hung goes to her room and asks her if she's completely treated. She says that her treatment ended 10 years ago. Jae-won suggests going out to eat dinner together and have some fun. It's his first time going out with a friend, and he's actually very excited about it to experience new things in his life. They go to a place to eat, and she says that they need to enjoy their time and not be afraid of anything, as they've already been treated and nothing bad will happen again. He slowly gets hopeful as he sees that he can live like others and enjoy his time too. After they're done eating, she offers him to go to a special place with her. It's the rooftop of a building where they can hear zoo's animals' sounds. They both sit there and enjoy the moment together. Yi-hang starts telling her that he has never done anything in his life, as he never could study properly, because he was always sick and his body was always weak, that even eating would make him tired, and he didn't even receive a red flower in elementary school. Jae-won scolds him for being a very negative person with negative thoughts, and starts to show him some tricks to make him smile, which she becomes successful in making him smile again. After spending a great time together, she takes him back home. His parents are watching secretly from the window, and they can't believe that their son has found someone whom he likes to spend his time with. They're very happy that their son is not depressed anymore, and he's actually energetic that day. Jae-won taught him some tricks during their meeting, which he starts practicing them in the bathroom. This shows that he was listening to every word she told him and paid attention to her. Yi-hung's family has always been saving money for his treatment, so all the furniture in their home is old and ruined, such as their table, which is not stable. This is a key point later in the movie. He gets a text message from Ji-won, and he rushes to get his stuff to go and meet her. Because of what he told her the other day about his body being weak, she takes him to a gym with a very famous gym instructor. She introduces to him, and the instructor tells him that he'll start teaching him some exercises. Yi-hang gets jealous watching Jae-won and the instructor being friendly with each other. He tries to lift a heavy weight, but can't do it. He gets very angry at her and leaves the gym. He tells her that she seems to be very close to him, and he was actually bothering them there. She leaves him to go home, but before going, she tells him with a smile that he actually got jealous. The tense moment turns out to be a sweet one, where she realizes Yi-hang's feelings for her. He goes back home and looks depressed without saying a word. The next day, he's at home the entire morning without having any conversation. His parents make a bet that whether or not he will go out again that day with her. His mother is about to lose, as she bet that he will go out with Jae-won that day. The moment she wants to give money to her husband, Yi-hang rushes to go out, and she gets the money back as she wins the bet. Jae-won tells him that they can't travel due to their condition, but she will create an unforgettable experience for both of them, as if they are actually traveling to different places in the world. One of the places is pretending to be in the ocean swimming, where there are whales and the ocean wind. Then they go to Antarctica, that's very cold, and they have to survive in that cold weather together. Their next activity is hiking where there are winds against their direction. They also go to a desert which they don't have enough water to share with each other. Their next destination is going to another universe by watching the sun. Jae-won loves waterfalls and takes him to a very well-known waterfall, and they run around in it. They also go to the beach and enjoy the weather together. All these locations were made up as she prepared every scene to look like the actual scene, like going to a park where the water comes out the ground and they pretend to be an actual waterfall. She wants him to have fun, as he told her before that he reads a lot of adventure books because he can't actually travel, so he needs to read in the books to only imagine those places. However, Jae-won made it possible for Yi-hung to travel to different places in the world with her and have fun together without thinking about their pains. After their trip, they sit on the park stairs as they're very tired. Grandmas and grandpas are dancing together there. Jae-won tells Yi-hang that she can take him to the future when they're old. She grabs his hand, and they start dancing together. Yi-hang says in his mind that for the first time in his life, he's able to feel like he's living like a normal person without any limitations, and that he's actually present in the future. They're dancing beautifully while smiling at each other. She tells him that at that moment, they just time-traveled, where they secured their future together with this dance. After dancing there, They go to a restaurant to eat something. Yi-hang always has that dream of being at the lake with a girl. He notices a poster of that lake on the wall of that restaurant. He shows her the poster, but suddenly his entire body starts shaking. He can't control himself anymore, and everything becomes blurry for him, and he then becomes unconscious. He undergoes checkups and examinations again. The doctor tells his parents that there is a possibility that it's cancer again, but they should wait for the results of the examinations. He's listening to them from outside and can't control his emotions, as he was about to change his life when a tragedy happened again. His parents are very nervous too, as they thought that their son is healthy and won't be sick again. These scenes are very emotional and sad, as in the beginning of the movie, it was shown that he's getting better, but he then is suspected to have cancer again. Yi-hang and his family go to his grandma's birthday party. He keeps not answering to Xiaoyuan's calls. He takes his cousin to restroom when the adults start talking to each other. Grandma tells Yi-hang's dad that she can sell her house and go to nursing home because they will need a lot of money again for Yi-hang's treatment, and tells him that he should go do a checkup as he has stomach ache. His dad tells Grandma that they will cover all the costs by themselves, and they can even sell their own house and everything they have for their son's treatment. He then starts crying. All this time, Yi-hang was behind the door, listening to how much his entire family is struggling again to afford the money for his treatment. He feels like he's a burden on their shoulders, as they work really hard just to make enough money for his medications and treatment without thinking about their own health. Xiaoyuan comes to visit him and asks him about his health condition, but he ignores her and tells her to go. Later, he checks his account and sees that she has blocked him. He rushes outside and decides to go somewhere and drink. With his condition, he isn't allowed to drink alcohol, but he starts drinking and gets drunk. He then goes to Xiaoyuan's house and starts knocking on their door until she comes out. He asks her why she blocked him, and she says that he wanted to get separated from her, so she did what he wanted. Yi-hang starts crying while standing under the rain. He says how he keeps thinking about her even when he doesn't want to. He confesses how he wanted to start living like a normal person, and he actually felt it when he did all those things with her, but everything collapsed and became a dream again in one moment. He's complaining how God doesn't like him and takes away his happiness every time he starts to feel better. Yi-hang mentions how it was his fault of feeling the happiness without remembering that he isn't allowed to, as he's only a cancer patient, and all of this normal life stuff is not meant for him. He says all these words with a very emotional tone. Xiaoyuan gets angry by his words. She then grabs his hand and takes him to a lady who's been waiting for his missing grandson to come back again. She tells him that he isn't the only one suffering in this world, as there are other people struggling in their lives with different problems, and he's exaggerating everything. While she's saying all this to him, he suddenly can't control his feelings anymore, and tells her, "I like you." He becomes shy when he said that and starts to perform the things she taught him before. Xiaoyuan gets happy when she heard him say those words. She doesn't hesitate and hugs him tightly. Again, it is Xiaoyuan who is able to change Yi-hang's mood and make him smile again, despite being sad and depressed a moment ago. They then go inside where Yi-hang's parents come to pick him up and start having a conversation with Xiaoyuan's dad. She grabs a red marker and starts drawing a red flower on his hand. She tells him that it's the red little flower he didn't get in elementary school. He now gets it for confessing his feelings to her. After that day, she calls Yi-hang and tells him that she has found the lake in the poster and they should travel to see it. He says that they don't have enough money to go there. She suggests selling their old things online and make money like that. While they're sitting at the cafe, he looks out the window and notices his dad is a driver of a rich person, which makes Yi-hang very shocked as he didn't know his dad works in the company during weekdays and becomes a driver during weekends to make more money for his treatment. He goes home and prepares food for his dad as he feels very sorry to him. He asks their family friend Xiaomei to make one of his friends a pharmaceutical tester, whom they give the medicine and test on them, but he was the tester in order to make money. Xiaomei suspects it and tells Yi-hang's dad about, and he finds the medicine in his room. He gets angry at him telling him that those could have side effect on his health, as he's taking other medications too, and it could be dangerous. Yi-hang gets angry and shakes the table, saying that everything in this house is old and ruined from this table to his dad's phone, which is not fixable anymore. He says that their family didn't used to be like before he became sick. After his sickness, everyone has stopped living for themselves, and they do everything for him, which doesn't make him grateful at all, as he feels like a burden and wants to die as soon as possible. His dad slaps him for saying that he wants to die, and he then leaves the house. Yi-hong goes to Xiao Mei's house. He then tells him that it's very difficult for the person who's sick, but it's even more difficult for the people around that person, and he tells him how much his parents are worried about him and care for him. Yi-hong feels sorry for what he said to them and goes down and sees that his dad is there. He's brought all of his medicines so he could take them there. Yi-hong apologizes to his dad for what he said before. They both start crying and getting emotional. His dad shows him that he's made enough money through driving that he can give it to him to travel to that lake. They both start smiling. They then go to visit the doctor to know about the test results. The doctor says that there is no sign of cancer and he can travel to wherever he wants. They get very happy to know that Yi-hong is not sick anymore. Yi-hong and Jiayuan buy train's ticket and decide to visit the lake together. They're having a fun time together in the train. He's about to make his dream come true and visit the lake in his dreams. Yi-hang is very happy that he isn't sick anymore and he can again experience happy moments with the person that he likes. At night, he tells her that the girl in his dreams is no one else but herself. She gets very happy that she's the girl that he keeps dreaming of. It becomes morning, and when he wakes up, he sees that she isn't there anymore. He gets worried that she's left him and looks outside. Yi-hong sees that she's coming towards him, but suddenly everything becomes blurry for her, and she can't control herself and becomes unconscious. Yi-hong runs towards her, and they get off the train. Their parents come and they take her to a hospital. The thing that he kept being worried will happen to him starts happening to the person he loves. Jiayuan has again cancer after 10 years. He goes to the hospital to talk to her. She says that there is a hard drive on the desk with all of her photos growing up. He should print them and give it to her dad when she's gone. Yi-hong tries to act calm and tells her that she's now acting negative the way he did before. She tells him to not visit her anymore as she will shave her head tomorrow. She starts crying as she didn't expect that the sickness would come back after that many years. Yi-hong visits her doctor, and he says that her condition is not good at all, and tells him that her test results actually came out to be bad. The last time she took them, Yi-hong just realizes that she knew there was something wrong about her before their trip, but she didn't say anything so she could accompany him. He goes home and starts printing her photos from the hard drive with the help of his mom. They start putting the photos in an album. She tells him that everyone is scared of something. She's scared of losing him, and he's scared of losing Jiayuan, but he should be with her to not regret in the future. Yi-hong visits Xiao Mei, and he says that his wife was a very bright person. He confesses that she took her own life because she didn't want to be a burden, so no matter how bright and cheerful a person is, they can become depressed after getting sick, so he should be next to her the entire time and give her hope for living. Yi-hong goes back home and starts shaving his head to look similar to her. He then video calls her and starts making a weird drink and says that this drink is for the eternity bond between them that no one can break. She gets very emotional looking at his brave actions, and she's happy that he doesn't leave her side. He decides to be her hope for living, and even if it's her last moments, he should be there for her to create unforgettable memories for her. He packs his stuff and goes to the hospital. Yi-hong tells her that he will stay by her side forever, and he will sleep in the same room with her so they can be together for a longer time. Xiaoyuan tells him that she won't be in his future anymore, and they can't travel to that lake together. She gets emotional and starts crying while imagining that she won't be by his side anymore. Yi-hong gets up and grabs her hand. He tells her that they've already traveled to different places together. They have already gone to North Pole together, experienced surviving in a desert, got wet in a waterfall, traveled to another universe, and they both got old together, where they are married and have a lot of kids. That's their future, that they've already experienced all those things, and they have seen the future together. He starts drawing a red little flower on her hand, saying that it's for fighting hard for life and staying by his side. That red flower is meaningful as they both drew for each other to show their support for each other. He's the one who's driving the scooter now. She tells Yi-hong that whatever he saw by the lake with her is not a dream or hallucination. Rather, it's a parallel universe that they exit with their same names and family, but without any pain or sickness. They go to a train station and start walking there, and then lie down on the rails thinking about the parallel universe where they aren't sick anymore and sickness doesn't exist at all. After that day, he stays by her side all the time and makes sure she isn't alone until the day that she disappears from his future. Jia Yuan passed away at the hospital while her dad and Yi Hang were there. He feels very sad watching her leaving him forever, but he was able to spend her last moments with her and create great moments for her. He takes the album and visits her dad. He gives it to him and says in his mind that this cheerful man actually had so much pain and sadness in his heart. He visits her room and sees all those things she put online for sale to collect money for his trip to that lake. He gets emotional and starts crying while lying down on her bed. After this scene, it is fast-forwarded to 1 year later, where Yi Hang is at the university taking lecture notes. He seems to have changed his lifestyle as he's now hopeful for living and continues his studying because he's optimistic that he has a future waiting for him. During that summer, he decides to go visit the lake in his dreams. As he goes to that lake, he sees Jia Yuan with the same white dress as in his dream. He then sees himself too with white shirt, similar to his dream, and he's running towards her and they're very happy. Yi Hang then realizes that she was right about the parallel universe. He imagines that world being a place where he isn't sick and his family has no worries to make money for his treatment as he isn't sick anymore, and he imagines Jia Yuan's mother being alive and their daughter is healthy and they act as a normal family. Yi Hang says that both of them are happy there without any worries or sickness, and they get to love each other and spend their future together. That's the reality that she still exists there. Her and all of them have a little red flower marks on them, which was his, and Jia Yuan's bond sign, and he gets emotional while looking at them. This movie proves that life doesn't always go the way we imagine, as Yi Hang thought he would leave the world first, but Jia Yuan left before him. Jia Yuan taught him that he needs to think about his future and always be hopeful as life is unexpected and he needs to enjoy his current time to the fullest. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for upcoming recap videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Bye everyone.